The 2018 Austrian Schillings GT. Revived in 2012, almost 50 years after it was originally established in Italy, ATS, short for Automobili Turismo e-Sport, returned to the market with a couple of open-cockpit, race-inspired sports cars. These prototype-style vehicles were followed by the Leggera roadster in 2015, but not much happened since then. Now, ATS is making a new comeback to the market, this time around with a potent supercar that promises to give Ferrari and Lamborghinis a run for their money. It's called the Ats Gt and pays tribute to ATS' first road car, the 2500 GT, launched all the way back in 1964. If you haven't heard of ATS before, it was established in 1963 by former Ferrari employees Carlo Chiti and Giotto Bizzarrini after the Great Walkout of 1961, when Maranello lost some of its most valuable engineers. ATS was established as both an automobile constructor and a Formula One race team, but it survived for only 2 years. Its only road car, the 2500 GTS, wasn't exactly successful either, but it remained in history as the second mid-engine sports car ever produced. Come 2017 and ATS is trying to recapture its former glory with the GT, a supercar that employs state-of-the-art technology, a premium interior, and a powerful engine. It's also the first ATS to join the small niche of exclusive supercars with high price tags and limited production runs. Continue reading to find out more about the Ats Gt. Exterior. The new Ats Gt was designed as a modern take on the 1964 2500 Austrian Schillings GTS. The new Ats Gt was designed as a modern take on the 1964 2500 Austrian Schillings GTS, but it's by no means a neo-retro interpretation. While the headlamps, the overall shape of the body, and the mid-engine configuration do remind of the classic model, the new GT is as fresh and unique as they get. The front fascia revolves around the modern standard for sports cars. There's a sloping hood that descends abruptly toward the nose, the swept-back headlamps are set at the corner of the fenders, while the bumper is made of large air intakes and a race-inspired diffuser. The twin stripe on the hood reminds me a bit of special edition Ferraris from recent years, but given that ATS is an Italian company, I'm not surprised to see it there. The GT's profile is an attractive combination of organic, muscular lines and sharp cues. The beltline starts low at the base of the side mirror, and then ascends abruptly toward the quarter windows to meet with the line that defines the sexy rear haunches. The quarter window itself sports a unique design, with a wide B-pillar element turning it into a thin stripe. Speaking of stripes, the door and the quarter window are highlighted by a red stripe, which also surrounds the main window. The same red accents decorate the multi-spoke wheels. The profile is an attractive combination of organic, muscular lines and sharp cues. The rear fascia is as vintage as they get. Much like sports and race cars from the 1960s, the fascia itself is very narrow and sunken into the fender and spoiler extensions. It's also flanked by round taillights, yet another cue that was highly popular 50 years ago. Of course, the lights are modern and feature LED technology. They're also hollow in the middle, which makes them look like small jet engines. The area between the fascia and the diffuser is a massive grille and a V-shaped black element, both adding aggressiveness. The engine hood is also inspired by vintage race cars. Instead of the glass cover we see on modern sports cars, the hood features two vertical grilles on each side and a black element that also acts as an air vent in the middle. A deployable wing looks ready to pop out when needed. Interior. The cabin that's both modern and sporty, featuring nubuck leather and carbon fiber trim. ATS didn't have much to say about the GT's interior, but the photos show a cabin that's both modern and sporty. The first thing that catches the eye is the enormous amount of nubuck leather that covers nearly every surface, including the dashboard, steering wheel, door panels, and the seats. The soft material is combined with glossy carbon fiber inserts and aluminum. The dashboard design is very simple and straightforward. Unlike most supercars that have instrument clusters mounted underneath deep hoods, the GT sports a nearly flat screen that's rounded around the edges. Two smaller displays are placed atop the center stack, which includes a wider, thin screen in the middle, 3 buttons below, and 3 more rectangular gauges above. The center console is also pretty simple and features carbon fiber sides and a small gearshift lever. The seats have contrast stitching, red piping, and highly detailed ATS logos on their headrests. The seats have contrast stitching, red piping, and highly detailed ATS logos on their headrests. More red detailing is visible on the door panels. The headliner is also made of gray Alcantara with red stitching. Overall, the Ats Gt isn't as luxurious as a Bugatti Chiron, but it has that classic vibe combined with modern features. That's a win in my book. Unfortunately, Ats didn't say what kind of technology customers will get in this car, but it's safe to assume that it won't have too many gadgets. If you want the latest gadgets, you can always go with an Aston Martin. Drivetrain. The V8 engine generates up to 700 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. The drivetrain under the hood is also modern. Whereas the old 2500 Austrian Schillings GTS was powered by a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter V8, the new GT uses a twin-turbo 3.8-liter V8 unit. Output is rated at a whopping 650 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. If that's not enough for the drag racer in you, Ats offers a 700 horsepower and 553 pound-feet version too. The Italian firm says that the engine is built with abundant use of composite materials and state-of-the-art technological solutions. Unfortunately, there's no additional information to run by, so all this state-of-the-art stuff remains a mystery until further notice. But at least Ats said that the engine pairs to a 7-speed transmission and comes with 3 driving modes: Viaggio, Sport, and Casa. Each of them change the dynamic behavior of the car from a somewhat comfortable Grand Tourer to a full-fledged race car. As usual, each mode acts on the suspension setup, gearshift speed, and on the engine's power output. Sprinting from 0 to 60 miles per hour takes 3 seconds, which puts the Ats GT in a similar league to the Ferrari 488 GTB and the Lamborghini Huracan. Top speed is rated at more than 206 miles per hour, again on par with the Italian competition. Stopping power comes from carbon ceramic brakes from Brembo, the best on the market right now. Prices. Specific pricing for the Ats GT isn't yet available, but the Italian firm wants in excess of £1 million for the supercar. That's a fortune even when compared to Ferrari and Lamborghini sports cars, but it's a result of the vehicle's exclusivity due to production being limited to only 12 units. This number is identical to the production of the original 2500 Austrian Schillings GTS. Competition. Ferrari 488 GTB. Designed to replace the 458 Italia, the 488 GTB is already one of the most iconic modern sports cars out there. Combining design features from the 458 Italia, the LaFerrari, and newer styling cues, the 488 GTB is decidedly aggressive to look at but still boasts that classy Italian flair. The Ferrari is just as luxurious on the inside, with leather, Alcantara, and carbon fiber covering just about any surface. Under the hood, it sports a recently introduced 3.9-liter V8 engine. The twin-turbo unit cranks out 660 horsepower and 560 pound-feet of torque and uses a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission to send the 488 GTB flying from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat. Top speed is rated at 205 miles per hour. Pricing for the Ferrari starts from $242,737, only a fraction of what Ats wants for the GT. Read our full story on the 2017 Ferrari 488 GTB. Lamborghini Huracan. Also a mid-engine supercar, the Huracan sports an entirely different design philosophy. Unlike the Ferrari and the Ats, both of which sport organic styling cues, the Huracan's body is made mostly of sharp lines, a trademark for Lamborghini supercars since the Countach. The Lambo feels extreme on the inside too, but it also carries an impressive amount of premium features, especially in terms of materials and technology. The Huracan is quite different under the hood too. While Ferrari and Ats used turbocharged V8 engines, Lambo remained true to its already iconic V10. The naturally aspirated 5.2-liter mill generates 610 horsepower and 413 pound-feet, enabling the coupe to hit 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds. Top speed is rated at 201 miles per hour. The Huracan is the slowest and least powerful of the pack, but it's also the most affordable at $237,000 before options. Read our full review of the 2017 Lamborghini Huracan. McLaren 720S. Launched for the 2018 model year, the 720S is the newest supercar here. It replaced the 650S and introduced a new design language for the company's Super Series line. And it looks pretty wild compared to the 488 GTB and Huracan. Inside, the McLaren boasts more carbon fiber than anything else available from the Italian carmakers. Leather and Alcantara are visible on just about any surface, while the folding drive display turns it into a no-nonsense race car at the track. Power comes from a twin-turbo, 4.0-liter V8 that cranks out 710 horsepower and 568 pound-feet, making the 720S the most powerful of the bunch. It's also the quickest, needing only 2.8 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour from a standing start. With a top speed of 212 miles per hour, it's also the fastest. And if you are looking for the lightest alternative, you should know that the 720S fits the bill at 2,828 pounds. Pricing starts at $288,845. Read our full story on the 2018 McLaren 720S. Conclusion. The Ats Gt is a somewhat surprising release. Although the Italian company has been active for the past few years and launched a series of open-cockpit sports cars, the GT is its first coupe sports car since the original 2500 GTS. Ats had a previous attempt with the Leggera back in 2015, but the Roadster was more of an affordable vehicle than a supercar aimed at Ferraris and Lamborghinis. In many ways, the GT brings Ats into a new era with a vehicle that looks and sounds promising. However, it remains to be seen whether it will make an impact, especially with a price tag that blows past the $1 million mark with ease. Love it. Appealing looks, gorgeous interior, powerful drivetrain, as quick as the Ferrari 488 GTB. Leave it awfully expensive, no match for the McLaren 720S.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.